We have some major breaking news. Sean Diddy Combs has just filed a $100 million defamation lawsuit against NBC Universal for the making of Diddy, the making of a Bad Boy documentary.
No, I get it. So you see some guys struggling with that. You see Bieber struggling with that. You see some of these guys struggling with that.
They can't get it out of their head. They can't get it out of their head.
Let's start with a question nobody wants to answer out loud. What if Michael Jackson didn't just die because of a medical mistake? What if it was a carefully orchestrated takedown, cold, calculated, and executed with the kind of precision you'd only expect from people at the very top of the food chain? Michael wasn't just any celebrity. He was the king. His reach, his voice, his power, it terrified people in high places. He was global, untouchable, until he wasn't. And that fall didn't happen by accident. Now, fast forward to today, cue the jaw-dropping name drop, Sean Diddy Combs, yes, Diddy. Because recently it's like the floodgates have burst open. Everything from hidden alliances to secret connections is spilling out, and suddenly it's not so far-fetched to ask, was Diddy somehow linked to Michael's death?
It sounded crazy, like I said before. They said that 2,300 people reached out to the law firm, and out of the 2,300 people, I guess they decided to go with just a little over 100. Which seems like it's they just put out the number and everybody's calling to see if they can get a check.
It's insane. It's insane. Now, again, he did say that nothing has been filed yet because he says he wants to make sure that they do their due diligence and get this right.
Enter Candace Owens. Controversial, sure, but afraid to speak out? Never. And this time, she didn't just stir the pot. She turned over the whole damn table. She claimed Michael's death wasn't just another tragic tale in the entertainment world. No, sis. It was part of a massive, sinister system that controls, manipulates, and silences. A machine fueled by secrecy. And Candace, she didn't just hint, she pointed fingers. And one of those fingers, right at Diddy. Let that sink in. Owens painted a picture of Michael not just being betrayed, but hunted. And one man who was always in the shadows during Michael's final days, Fahim Mohammed. A trusted name back then. Michael's head of security, one of the last people to see him alive. Now? He's running Diddy's security. Same guy, same access, same eeriness. Coincidence? That's getting harder to believe.
Surprised with the decision. I'm surprised that Judge Subramanian entertained it. He held a 2-hour hearing, which we were covering live, and he issued a 5-page written order. Most other judges, including the 2 previous judges, to consider this issue, summarily denied the bail motion. I think a lot of it stems from Judge Subramanian being a newer judge. This is a Biden appointee.
Now let's talk about Fahim Mohammed. When he got the job with Michael, he was only 21. 21. No major experience, no A-list resume, yet suddenly he was Michael Jackson's right hand, his protector, his gatekeeper. But when Michael died, Fahim wasn't just there, he took charge. He handled authorities, shaped the public narrative, and after that, he immediately found his way into Diddy's inner circle, holding the exact same kind of power. Only this time, it wasn't just protection. It was damage control, crisis management, cover-ups. There are lawsuits accusing him of hiding things, erasing things, silencing things. So now the question is, was he just loyal or was he chosen because he knew how to make the truth disappear?
And he is very, very dominant. Like, he wants to control the situation. He wants to control his inner circle. He wants to make everyone have a good time and enjoy his parties. And so, it is scary because you think, this person or possibly his social network or the people he's around could make or break your career.
But buckle up, because here comes the part that sounds like a movie, except it's real life. Owens connected the dots between Diddy's current scandals and Michael's past. And the conclusion? These men weren't just victims of coincidence. They were caught in the same web. The tunnel theory? It's wild, yes, but not as far-fetched as you'd think. Secret underground tunnels, allegedly linking Diddy's mansion to other Hollywood estates, including, you guessed it, Michael Jackson's property. And before you roll your eyes, remember this. Similar tunnels have been confirmed at the Playboy Mansion, so suddenly it's not sounding so crazy. These weren't just tunnels for fun. The rumor? They were used to shuttle people discreetly, no cameras, no witnesses, just whispers.
Everyone keeps saying to me, like, how did you keep, why did you keep going? Why were you there? I'm like, it literally is around me. If I don't stay at home, this is the atmosphere I'm in. Like, I have no choice.
Then came the viral image, a screenshot claiming investigators found tunnels in Diddy's estate. It was eventually proven fake, sure, but that didn't stop people from looking closer. Because Diddy's home? It's known for extravagant grotto, underwater passages, private pools, and now possibly hidden compartments. And those federal raids, the ones that lit up headlines, officially they were about misconduct. But the scale of those operations has theorists screaming. Were they really looking for evidence of abuse? Or were they searching for something way deeper? Something that connects Diddy's empire to a much darker playbook.
The flight was always going to be a tough argument for the government because obviously Combs voluntarily came to New York. He surrendered his passports through his lawyer. He could have fled after the March raids of his Miami and Los Angeles homes, but he didn't. He has access to 2 private jets. I think it was a tougher argument. I know the government made the argument, but clearly the best argument was the dangerousness and the witness tampering. They had much more evidence.
Let's shift back to Michael. Because what haunts fans to this day isn't just that he died, it's how he died. Alone, paranoid, surrounded by people he didn't trust. His family never believed it was natural. They always claimed foul play. And when you line up the timeline, when you factor in Fahim, Diddy, the secrecy, it starts to feel less like theory and more like the truth staring us dead in the face. Michael owned one of the most valuable music catalogs in history, including the Beatles. Let that sink in. Billions, enough to make powerful enemies. He spoke out against the industry, he challenged the system, and that in this world makes you dangerous.
Well, first of all, I can only imagine how sloppy Sean Combs was with evidence when he got busted with those 2 machine guns or 3 machine guns with the altered serial numbers. So I really don't trust Sean Combs or the people around him's ability to properly cover up anything. So I envision that you're going to see at trial payments from his Amex for flights for people, straight payments directly from his company to people.
Now, back to Diddy. His house of cards is trembling. The lawsuits, the raids, the accusations, they're not isolated. They're a trail, a pattern. And every new revelation makes one thing clearer. His fall isn't random. It's the unraveling of something way bigger. Because just like Michael, Diddy's story isn't about one man making mistakes. It's about a system catching up with him. The eerie parallel, Michael felt hunted. Diddy now looks cornered. Different paths, same ending.
Time frame is important because this happened in hotels, in places that have surveillance, that there's records that could be consistent with his testimony about when he alleges that these parties took place. He probably has his own information about who attended the events. When you're somebody like Sean Combs and you're such a celebrity and you're engaged in this type of behavior, people around you are memorializing it on their own.
Michael had every reason to be afraid. He wasn't just a pop star, he was a walking empire. And Diddy? He's being accused of using that exact same playbook, just flipped. Lawsuits claim he used surveillance not for security, but to control people. Hidden cameras at bedrooms, at parties, everywhere, capturing every moment, especially the ones people thought were private. Why? For leverage, for control, for blackmail. Because when you have evidence of someone's darkest secrets, you own them. And that's not just wrong, that's psychological warfare.
You know, if you say the wrong thing or you complain or you know, I don't know, there's an element where you're just, I guess manipulated in a way to make you feel like, oh, you have to please everyone around you. You can't say anything wrong. You don't want to say a bad thing, or you know, when they're constantly asking you, would you like to do drugs? And you're like, well, I don't do drugs. And they're like, well, why don't you do drugs?
And just when you think it can't get darker, boom, the parties. Not your average Hollywood glam. No, these were invitation only, behind closed doors events where the rules didn't apply. And guess they didn't just get invited, they got muzzled. Warnings, whispers, the rumors, terrifying. From blurred lines between consent and coercion to flat-out trauma. People left those parties not just shaken, but scarred. The vibe wasn't freedom, it was control. The deeper you went, the more entangled you became. And once you saw something you weren't supposed to, you belonged to that system. You either played your role or you disappeared.
I don't know the consequences of what that could have been. So I didn't really talk about it. I should have gone to the police. I should have said something other than to my agent. I'm just thankful that there was somebody there. There was somebody at that party who helped me, because I could have ended up in a really bad situation.
But nothing lasts forever. Silence starts to crack when too many people carry the same scars. The lawsuits coming after Diddy now, they aren't just telling stories. They're exposing a pattern, a structure. And the eerie part? That structure looks identical to the one that surrounded Michael Jackson in his final years. Fahim Muhammad, his name just won't go away. In both stories, he shows up at the center like a fixer, a cleaner. The man who didn't just protect, he handled. And when you ask who he was protecting, it might not have just been one man. It might have been an entire network.
Now, this particular defense attorney's reason for quitting wasn't really a reason at all, making his departure a lot more puzzling.
Let's circle back to those infamous tunnels. Some people still laugh them off, but others, they're asking the hard questions. Because if Diddy's estate really did connect to places like the Playboy Mansion, and if those tunnels were used the way people whisper they were, then what happened down there? Who was involved? And what were they trying so hard to keep hidden? The idea of secret passageways isn't just creepy, it's symbolic. It represents how deep this alleged power system runs. Beneath the surface, out of view, protected by silence and status.
We've done 3 others where we've laid out the prosecution case. This time, we're talking specifically, what is Diddy's defense? And we decided to test it with a mock jury, and it is fascinating.
It is absolutely fascinating, keeping in mind that the real jury will be sitting down to do this. The trial starts first week in May.
Now ask yourself this. If even half of this is true, what does that say about Hollywood? Because Diddy didn't build this alone. The industry gave him a platform. It handed him power. And when the rumors started, the media stayed silent. Why? Why is it that when others fall, the headlines scream, but with Diddy, it's crickets? Is it fear or something deeper? Could it be that if the truth about him comes out, the truth about everyone else comes with it? That's what's truly terrifying. Because when a system protects someone this long, it's not loyalty, it's self-preservation.
You know, there's a short life in
Why do you think that is with the creative side?
Well, because losing out money, you got to take. You're going through so much to try and deal with life.
So here we are. The lawsuits keep coming, the raids keep happening, and yet the full story? Still buried in shadows. Is this just the downfall of a mogul or the beginning of an earthquake that'll rip the whole damn foundation apart? How long can this industry hide what it's built on? The tunnels, the cameras, the NDAs, the blackmail, the fear. It's all pointing to one chilling truth. Michael Jackson wasn't crazy, he was right to be afraid, and now Diddy might just be facing the same fate. But this time, the world's watching. And the mask? It's slipping.